Hello, everyone. This is Gospel Gossip, and this is session one with my good friend Dorin Bills, Mrs. Dorin Bills. I'm Paula Newbern. We're going to start this first session off talking about the great man named Noah. And we're starting off in Genesis chapter 6, and we'll go to chapter 10. We may not discuss everything, we just don't have the time to, but we hope that you will sit back and enjoy it. Um, Talk about it in your home, gossip about it. Again, God doesn't like gossip, right, Dorin? We know that he doesn't like gossip, but this is the good news that we're whispering it to your ear, and we're whispering each other's ear, and we're proclaiming the good news. Isn't it good news, Dorin?
Absolutely, it's good news.
It's the great news. So, Dorin, as I studied this and read this, um, I was like, as I always am when I read about Noah, when you look at the times and the things that were going on back there, and what God declares in the Bible that the world was corrupt. The world was doing things that God did not create them to do.
Yep.
But then here's this man Noah that that God just called him out and whispered in his ear and told him what he was about to do.
Yep.
And why did God why did he choose Noah? Why did he tell him what he was about to do? Why is that, Doris?
I think it was because Noah was the only righteous man left on the earth. And so he chose him to be the one to carry out the mission that he had set before him.
Yeah.
Pertaining to the people in the world at that time.
Yeah. And it's so scary because the world wasn't as populated then as it is now. But you got to think that there had to be, millions, and maybe the Bible says that.
Yeah,
there was quite a bit of people on the earth at that time. But one person, Dorin?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it in this day and time,
That's so scary.
It is.
That out of all the people, there was one person that was righteous in God's eyesight. When you look at chapter 6, verse 9, they give an account of Noah, it says, and his family. And it says Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. And then it goes on to introduce his three sons, Ham, and Japheth. He said that the earth was corrupt and it was vile. So
I guess he decided that he needed to start over with man because man was so corrupt. And I mean, when he said he was going to wipe out, he meant wiping out not just humans, but animals and every living creature on the earth and starting over from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope he wouldn't do that to us in this day and time, but he did it back then.
He said he wouldn't do it again with the flood.
Yep, he did say that. He said with the flood waters. Yeah, he did say that.
But he, again, the Bible talks about how God's eyes go to and fro throughout the earth. He's hovering over this earth, and he's looking, he's seeking for someone that's righteous.
Yep. And at that time, Noah was the only one that was righteous and blameless before him and had close fellowship with him. Noah
Yeah.
was the only one out of all those people that were on the earth at that
And
time.
and so because of Noah and his walk with the Lord and his being
Mm-hmm.
righteous and his being
Mm-hmm.
blameless and him,
Mm-hmm.
being faithful with God,
Mm-hmm.
that it's because of him that
Yeah.
his wife was saved, his three
Yeah.
sons were saved,
Yeah.
his
And their
sons'
wives.
wives.
Yeah.
So it paid to do the
It
right thing.
does.
And
It absolutely does.
it pays to live upright. It pays off to walk right, huh? To talk
It
right, to
does.
live right.
Absolutely. Because of that one man, we're here today because we're all descendants
Yes,
from him.
yeah.
So,
They
he was a saving grace at that time for the human race.
I wrote down on my notes here, Noah found favor. And I'm like, girl, I want that type of favor with God.
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I want to stand out with God. I don't care about being, standing out with people
Mhm.
and, being the apple of people eyes. And I
Mhm.
don't care about man lifting me up and who recognizes me. That's something, I thought about when I was younger, you
Mhm.
know, but,
Yeah.
but now that I'm older, it doesn't matter what someone thinks about you, what their opinion is about you, but
Mhm.
what matters most is what God thinks,
It is.
his
It is.
opinion.
And it wasn't that Noah was perfect, but he was blameless in the sight of God. And
Yeah,
that's, like you said, God is the one that really matters. Man doesn't matter. So people are not what should not be what's important. What people think of you should not be what's important, but what God thinks of you, since He holds everything in His hand. He's the one that's in control. He's the one that has all the power. He's the one that we should be striving to please every day.
amen. Yes, yes, yes. Just what I was thinking that, there's a lot of times in this world, we try to please people, but you can't please
Hmm.
people because people are iffy, they sway
Yeah,
back
they
and
are. They're
forth.
fickle. Yeah,
But
they're
if you
very
just,
fickle.
yes, if you just please your God,
Hmm.
if you just do right by your God,
And I
not
don't
that
know
you're not
people.
that you're going to sail through this life on
Hmm.
earth, but
Hmm.
you are
Hmm.
going to have peace,
Yep.
contentment, and satisfaction.
Yep. And those things can only come from him. They can't. Because I mean, I just even look at like social media, and I don't know that people use social media. It just gives them like a platform, and they use it because you can almost be something that you're really not in the eyes of other people, and I know that people use that it kind of builds them up, but it's a false sense of security that is actually given to them because they want people to see them and you can make people see you in a light that's not really truly you because you're behind a screen, you're behind a computer screen. So, um, but I think people are also worried about God, about pleasing man and being accepted by man when if I'm sorry, if Noah wouldn't have been accepted by the Lord, that's the only righteous one at that time when
Yeah,
God decided He was going to destroy the entire earth and the
yeah.
people and the creatures in it, where will we be?
You know, I would say that again that Noah had favor. Um,
Hmm.
that his whatever he was doing, whatever his walk was, that God loved him from Noah.
He
And
did.
that's the thing about walking with the Lord. He does tell you things. People don't think that God, you know, walks and talks with people.
Hmm.
People get offended when you say that the Lord told me, or I heard the
Hmm.
Lord say this. And I think
Hmm.
according to who you are these days, according to your walk, according to your calling, according to your purpose down here. God,
Mm-hmm.
talks with people on different levels and different ways according to your gifting. But
Mm-hmm.
apparently, Noah was gifted, called, chosen, and all of those good things
Yeah,
because God
absolutely.
whispered in his ear that he told him he was going to destroy the earth. He told him
Mm-hmm.
what to do,
He
how to
did.
prepare his family, how to get ready. And he also made a covenant with him.
Mm-hmm.
He made a
And
covenant.
what he told him, the people looked at him like he was crazy. Like, yeah, right, okay, sure,
Well,
that's crazy.
you could have, if I heard from God to do this strange thing,
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I know he was running around with, hurry up, hurry up,
Mm-hmm.
let's get ready, let's get going. Get this,
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
that he was on top of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't playing because
He was very serious about it. He was like, right away, let me get going and get this thing done.
he
Yeah.
knew that God was real. He
Mm-hmm.
understood. He was fully persuaded, like we need to be. He was fully convinced. But
And he heard that voice, and he knew it was the voice of God, and it wasn't. He was just like, okay, he knew it was God speaking to him, telling him to do this, and he knew it was serious, and he got on it right away.
yeah, yeah, and his sons and his wife believed that Noah walked with God. They knew, your kids
Mm-hmm.
know when you are upright and your lifestyle. Noah's
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle, I'm sure, spoke volumes that they took him serious as soon
Mm-hmm.
as he went and told them, "Hey, God spoke
Yeah.
to me, and this is what's happening." And I know
Mm-hmm.
that when God told them to go onto that ark, that they must have been
Mm-hmm.
like, "This is for real."
Mm-hmm.
Like dad and husband of mine.
Mm-hmm.
You were absolutely right when God, it said God was the one that shut the door on the,
Mm-hmm.
so I know they're sitting up there and they're looking at all these animals who have come that God has lined up and brought onto
Mm-hmm.
this ark. I know that they're looking at all of this going, what? This God that my daddy and my husband serve is real.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he shut that door and then the water started to come, I'm sure that was just really mind blowing to just, you know, him, his wife, his sons, and their wives to see all of a sudden now the waters are starting to rise, and they really knew this. They knew the seriousness of it when he even started to build it, and then how long it took him to build it, and then when he was saying it was time to go, they were on board, they were there, and then they started to see the waters rise, and you couldn't say there isn't a God. You had to see the seriousness of God, and you had
And
to see how serious Noah was about God.
and you can say that God is in control of everything. It
Mm-hmm.
rained for 40 days and 40 nights.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about this number 40, but
Mm-hmm.
throughout the scriptures, we keep talking about these 40 days come up.
Mm-hmm.
But so so if God was in control of rain,
Mm-hmm.
flooding, I know that people uh, uh, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But God is he controls the
Yeah.
water. If he brought the
Well.
rain upon the earth
Mm-hmm.
again
Mm-hmm.
and caused
Mm-hmm.
all mankind to perish, except for Noah and his family on the ark, caused all the animals and creatures
Mm-hmm.
to perish,
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that God is still in control of weather today,
Mm-hmm.
like he
Mm-hmm.
was then. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand that our God, the Bible says in Isaiah, he is a strange God.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
not like man. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our
Right.
thoughts. He,
Right. Right.
for your mind cannot conceive. perceive the things of God.
Mm.
It is spiritual.
Yeah.
God knows the
Yeah.
reasons why we do things. He knows the reasons why he's doing things. He's already
Mhm.
gone before us. He knew us
Mhm.
from the beginning. He knows
Mhm.
the ending. He knew
Mhm.
every choice that we would make in this lifetime. It is
Mhm.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
The wisdom, the knowledge, the greatness of this God that we serve.
Yeah.
I love it. I love him
Yeah.
so much. And I do want to be like, I want to be like Noah. You know, when I
Yeah.
started reading the word years ago, and I would read these good stories about these
Mhm.
different characters, and I'm like, God for showing me that, yeah, I want to be like Noah. Yeah, if
Mhm.
you decide to do something, not that I'm afraid to die, but I still want to find favor in whatever God is doing.
Absolutely.
And I want to know, I do want him to whisper in my ear so that I can prepare
Yeah.
not just myself, but my family.
Yeah,
I,
and then I guess you have to be. So the Bible does talk about how close of a relationship that Noah had with
yeah,
God. You have to be that close with God to know when He is speaking to you,
yeah,
and you want to be at a point where you want to be that close to Him that if He tells you something, you know it's Him, and out of obedience, you immediately act.
yes,
You don't hesitate. Noah didn't hesitate. He immediately got started on building that ark. He knew it was God that told him to do it. He knew that people would think that he was crazy for saying he's making, this big ship, but he was so close to God that he knew when God was speaking to him, and he acted immediately.
yes. And then you know what I noted on my little in my little book here that though it rained for 40 days and 40 nights,
Mm-hmm.
that and of course everything on the earth was gone,
Mm-hmm.
that the waters flooded the earth for 150 days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was reading too, which kind of was to my surprise. It really was almost an entire year
Yes, yes,
before they actually got off of where God said, okay, time to open up the doors and for you to what was this?
that little
That's a fire
ambulance.
truck.
Yeah,
That's a fire truck. But yeah, it seemed so because I think people get caught up when you say 40 days or 40 nights that's what it was all about. But
that's the
they did
natural
not get
rain.
off of that boat for almost an entire year.
Yeah, it was a year.
So
It said Noah went in at 600 and God
hmm
receded the waters. So
he was
even though
601.
it rained cats and dogs for 40 days,
hmm
40 nights. And
hmm
then it rained so much that the earth was still flooded for another 150 days.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was actually uh, a whole year before God opened that ark up to get
hmm
out that ark.
Yeah.
That was, and I,
But I know that I know our time is moving, but because I and that in the next segment I want to talk about that.
okay, but I wanted to point out that God sent a wind
hmm
over the earth
hmm
that helped dry up, start things
hmm
drying up. So God deals with water, deals with
hmm
rain, he deals with
hmm
flooding, he deals with great winds. God is
hmm
all in the midst of atmosphere
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
happening. You think about
yeah.
today, Dory, fire,
Yes,
flooding,
yeah,
rain,
yeah.
water,
Hurricanes.
dryness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen,
Yeah.
if anybody's getting this story with no, it's Dorin and I. We are enlightening you about how God operates. He
hmm
loves righteous people, right, Dorin? He loves
Absolutely.
blameless people. He loves people
Yeah,
who are faithful to him.
yeah,
He
yeah.
loves everybody, but you find
Yes,
favor with this God when you are
yes,
an upright person, when you do the right
yes.
thing. And not,
Yeah.
when you don't just do the right thing when you're in front of people, but you do the
hmm
right thing when nobody is looking.
Right. Because God is always looking.
And then know that your life is not just all about you. Noah
Yeah.
wasn't all about him. He
hmm
saved his lifestyle way of being. saved his wife, his
Yeah.
children,
Mhm.
their wives,
Mhm.
because Noah himself found favor with God.
Yeah.
So as we whisper to each other's ears today, we're whispering into your ears that there's something about this God that we serve.
Yeah.
Dorin is
Yeah.
a sold out sister. I'm a sold out sister. We are all things God. We love God with all of our heart, and we love his
Absolutely.
people. And so we want
Yes.
you to be encouraged today. We want you to know that the same God that lifted Noah up and saved him is the same God that's going to lift us up and save us. Just be
Yes.
faithful to him. Seek after him.
Yes.
Dory, we're going to end this episode of Gospel Gospel, and we will see you on the next episode, right, Doran?
Absolutely.
Say goodbye.
Bye.